Good morning. Good morning. I hope you are doing well this morning. I have been very busy this morning, but it's been very fun and amazing. And I love waking up with these inspiring ideas of things to do. And so I've been busy this morning, like I said. And I am so excited to get on here with you guys and share the morning affirmation and journal prompt. And I am so excited about tomorrow's live in the group Make Lasting Change at 9 a.m. Eastern because I have got so much to celebrate with you guys, and you may not even recognize all the things that are ready to be celebrated. So make sure you're there so that we can celebrate together and learn something new. And so for those that are watching that are not part of Make Lasting Change, it's a Facebook group that is all about embracing who we are and breaking free from the limiting beliefs we have. It is um, learning how to embrace self care because without taking care of ourselves, we can't help anybody else. And it's just like the thing on the plane, right? When the flight attendant shares with you about all the different safety things that you do. And it says, if the oxygen mask comes down, that you put the mask on yourself first before you even help your child, before you help anyone else. Because if you don't give yourself that breath of life, that oxygen to be able to stay alert and aware, then you can't help anybody because you'll be trying to help them and you may pass out from the lack of oxygen and you didn't even help them in the process. So it is all about finding those places that we can create inside of us something that is going to actually help us to help ourselves and to help others in the process. And, I've worked with people with so many different issues or challenges that they're facing. And I'm a hypnotist, a board certified hypnotist, and I'm a transformational coach. And so I work with people in a lot of different ways, and I'm constantly learning new things that people are looking for that I can help them with. And that's how this group kind of morphed into what it is now. So, with that said, if you would like to be on the live tomorrow to hear the celebrations and what's going on in the group and, learn something that might help you in your life to develop new talents and gifts, to recognize those talents and gifts, or maybe it's to kind of move away from a habit that you have that hasn't been serving you, whatever it may be there. And all you have to do is go to vickypoole.com. That's VICKIEPOOLE.com. Ask to be part of the group and make sure you answer the questions, because I don't let anybody in the group that hasn't answered the questions. For one thing, if you're not going to answer the questions, you probably aren't really into the group. And I don't want just anybody in the group. It's a very sacred space where we can share and grow and be vulnerable. And so if you really want to be in that space, answer those questions so that you can be in the group. And a lot of those questions, I look back to see what is it that people are looking for? What are the things that would benefit everybody the most? So you'd be helping create the content for the group as well. All right. So, with that said, all right. So, first of all, let me say thank you for being here. And whoever is here live, to make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. And if you have not given StreamYard permission to see who you are, then please let me know who you are. And afterwards, you can go into the description of the video, and there's a link there where you can go in and give permission to StreamYard to actually see who you are and share that information with me. And that way, the next time you get on here, I'll know exactly who you are, because I love seeing your name and getting to know you even more. Because I do the live with all the celebrations and all the fun things and the learnings on Monday. And it's such a cool thing. And then daily, I'm going in here live with these affirmations and journal prompts. And so I love when I can have a conversation. Hi, Stacy. All right. Well, we'll see if we can figure that out together. How about that? It's great to have you here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, but first I'm going to take a sip of my tea. It may be February, but here in Georgia, we've had rain, which we're having rain today, and the temperatures have been a little bit warmer, which I know a lot of places have had some warmer weather, but that just means that so much is already starting to bloom. I've got flowers coming up in the yard. I was on a walk the other morning, and there were the ornamental cherry trees already had blooms on them, and so that's already starting to create some of the pollen that we're so famous for here in Georgia, and a lot of other places too. But for some reason, of course, maybe it's just because this is where I live, I know more about it. So that said, I'm going to be clearing my throat a little bit, and I apologize for that. All right. So today's affirmation is, oh, did it post? Yes. I choose to see the good in others. And one of the reasons that this one is so dear to my heart too is because I know I've talked many times about we have in our life what we expect, right? And so if we expect people and the world to be out to get us in a horrible place, or where somebody's always, hurting someone, or there's so many things that we see that really, if we're paying attention to those things, we really think the world is a horrible place and there's so much horror going on and people are out to get each other and all of that, right? But the actual truth is that is just what is in our face. And the more you believe that about the people around you, people in general, and the world, the more of that you're going to see. Just like I've talked before about, when I was really, really interested in Teslas. Now, I still don't have one because I'm not sure that's what I want right now. However, when I was really intrigued with Teslas and I was looking them up, and I was, because I have a Prius now. And so I thought, well, that would be the perfect thing, right? I'd get a Tesla. Well, as I'm looking at all of this stuff, I hardly ever saw them on the road, right? Yes, that's true. That's true. And when I really started focusing on Teslas and thinking about them and looking them up and all that, suddenly I saw them everywhere. I saw them on the road. I would get into a parking lot and I would see multiple Teslas, and they were all there. It's not like they suddenly just appeared out of nowhere. They were there the whole time. They were just not my focus. That's not what I saw. So when we're looking at the world and we're making these assumptions and beliefs, we are creating that in our reality. The more we think those things are true, the more they start showing up for us to see. And so it's really important to check our beliefs. What is our belief about ourselves? What is our belief about the people we come in contact with? And what is our belief about the world? And that's a process that I take some of my clients through, depending on what our focus is. And so I ask you today to have this affirmation top of mind. Okay. Good morning, Kimmy. I hope you're feeling better. If I'm remembering yesterday's post, I hope you're feeling better. And forgive me if I'm not remembering correctly, right? Because sometimes I may not remember exactly. But as the affirmation for today, I choose to see the good in others. And when you choose to see the good in others, and that doesn't mean that everything about them is good. What that means is you focus on the good of others. And when you focus in that way, you change what starts showing up for you. So write that on your sticky note, on your index card, or on the mirror with a chalk marker like I do. Or you can just put it as a screensaver on your phone. And one of the things I like to do, if you're a person that is in the car a lot, I like taking the index card and writing two of them out. And I have one on one side of the visor and one on the other side of the visor. So whether the sun is shining and I got the visor down, I can see it. Or if I've got the visor up, I can see it there too. And it's just getting that top of mind. And if you have it in your mind that you are choosing, because we're not saying we're noticing, we're choosing to see the good in others. And when we make a choice of what we want to see, it changes what shows up, right? So I would love to have you share in the group today your picture of your affirmation that you put on your cards, or however, if whatever you do with it, share it with everybody so that they can see. And actually creating these affirmations and putting them down and sharing them, that is a form of your self-care. Remember, that is our daily practice, is hashtag peachy vibes, and showing our daily self-care. Because when you do something that is self-care for you, that might be just the catalyst that lets somebody say, oh, I never knew that would be self-care, and I want to do that too. So you're helping yourself and you're helping others. And who doesn't want to help everybody, right? And this group is all about helping each other. And I am so excited that when I was looking yesterday, there are so many people that are popping in and helping each other with their thoughts and their feelings, or sending them blessings, and helping them to see that maybe if they're having a hard time finding what would be self-care for them, they are giving them ideas. And I love that. And this group has become so amazing with your community helping each other. And it's making me so excited as we're going forward, sharing more and more with you guys. All right. So now I'm going to go to the journal prompt. Let's see what it is. All right, so today's journal prompt is, who has surprised you with their goodness recently and how? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it could be something as simple as, somebody smiled at you and said, I love your hair. Somebody might have just smiled at you. It depends on what you've been dealing with, what things that people do that surprise you, right? Sometimes a surprise, somebody's goodness is somebody donating to a charity in your name, right? Sometimes it's somebody reaching out and saying, I know you're hurting. How can I help you? So what can you write down in your journal of who has surprised you with their goodness recently, and how did they do that? How did they affect you? And not only that, not only how did they do that, but how did that make you feel? Because the more you can tap into those feelings of surprise about how wonderful someone is, then the more that feeling is going to come. And so I really like to explain a lot of times. And, if you've been following this kind of work for a while, it's not anything new, but I love to share. So it's like, if you can tap into that feeling that when somebody surprised you with their goodness, and it's like, I can't believe they said that. I can't believe they did that. And you realize that you're saying that to yourself, just kind of get attached to that emotion, that feeling, that expression on your face, right? Because the expression on our face changes our voice and changes our feelings. And if you don't believe it, go up to someone and say, "Good morning." Uh, the voice, the face does not go with the words "good morning," right? And so we can even answer our telephone with an expression that is not good, and they can hear it on the other end. And that's why a lot of times people, they'll say, "Well, what's wrong? You've said, maybe you said good morning." They can hear it in your voice. And that voice, the expression on your face comes out your mouth. So just think about it. Creating that surprise with someone's goodness, and you've got this facial expression when you're thinking of it, when you notice it, take that and put it in your memory banks. And anytime you feel the need to be excited in life and to feel like God is good, the people around you are good, the world is good, go back to that facial expression, go back to that tone of voice, go back to that thought and that feeling. And that's really easy to do if you do it on purpose. So, by just noticing all of this stuff that I'm talking about right now and playing with it a little bit, make it a game. How can I explore this? So, to begin with, you might want to explore when it's just like I remember telling my children sometimes that, if you're saying to the dog, "I love you," and you're saying it in a harsh tone, that dog does not get the "I love you" out of that at all. It gets the tone that you speak in, and people do the same. It's a vibration that you're putting out. So maybe play with it a little bit. If you're feeling wonderful and you want to see what you can do that is not so wonderful, pick up the phone and call somebody. Change your expression, change your tone, and you'll even start feeling that feeling of not feeling so good. It's just like when people say, "Oh God, I'm so tired." And they keep saying that, they're going to feel more tired and more tired and more tired. But, you can change that. Even if you're feeling a bit tired, you can say, "I may be a little tired right now, but I know it's going to get better. I'm going to feel better." Or maybe you even want to take it a step and say, "I'm feeling better and better all the time." Just change your voice, change your tone. Don't just take things as they are, because we're creating what is there, and we can change that. At any given moment, we can change that. And so this is how you begin to change the things that are showing up in your life, how you feel about the things. And so it's amazing process to go through. And it's not like you do it on the right away and everything's great. It's a process. So remember, I've talked about it many times. It's a 1% change every day creates exponential growth in your life. And so use this as beginning another 1% change, right? In your journal prompt, I want you to make sure you put that in your journal, because like I've said before, a lot of people have a journal just for this. And so get your journal out and write this with your hand, pen and paper, right? And if you don't have a journal that is for this, then just get a piece of paper, start a folder, and just write this down. Who has surprised you with their goodness recently, and how did they surprise you? And how did it make you feel? Stretch it out a little bit further. How did it make you feel? And you could even go another step further. How can I recreate that feeling in my life every day? All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. That's Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, in the group make lasting change. And like I said, those who are not in the group currently and would love to participate, go to vickypoole.com. That's VICKIEPOOLE.com and answer the questions. And I will let you in the group today because I'll go in, especially on Sundays when I have more time to do that. I go in and I check quite often to see, who's wanting to be in the group. Did they answer the questions? And if someone didn't, I usually send them a message and say, hey, you didn't answer the questions. So please go back and answer those questions so that I can let you in the group to participate. Because I know sometimes people, maybe they click on something and suddenly realize, they've asked to be a member and they didn't answer the questions. And so sometimes it's not that somebody doesn't really want to, it's just that it got past them somehow. And I understand that because it's happened to me before too. And so I will message you and say, please go back and answer the questions. And then you can be part of the group because it's getting more and more amazing every single day. Thanks to my wonderful, wonderful members of the group. And I love you guys more than you could ever know. And utilize your affirmations today and your journal prompt and make sure to share in the group your self-care today. Mwah.